Isa sa madalas kong sinishare na topic is about communication process on how we send the message across. And sometimes the message is a story. The question I wanted to ask is, paano ba natin binibenta ang isang kwento? And no, it's not about fairy tales or historical narratives or yung mga trailers na movies. I am talking about one of the common stories being told and sold rampantly nowadays. It's the story of success.
Everything is well in the country. There's nothing really to be extra scared of that coronavirus thing.
And at my heaviest, I weighed 540 pounds. Today, I am 237 pounds.
Miss Universe 2015 is Philippines.
Of progress, of growth, of milestones. And you don't have to overthink and only limit this to a novel or an MMK story or yung mga inspiring speech sa isang TED Talk. I am talking about the daily social narratives we share to our friends, relatives, and communities. Kasi lalo na sa panahon ngayon, anybody could tell a story with the use of internet. Wait, what? Ako? Storyteller? Well, yes. Well, you have to rethink what a story is for you to get my point. Baka kasi confined ka sa traditional definition of a story of opening a book or starting the line with Once Upon a Time or Dear Charo. In the digital age of posting most of our thoughts online, uso-uso na ang microblogging, sharing anecdotes, or yung simpleng hashtag storytime. And without you knowing it, you might have already been sharing success stories in varying degrees and contexts. Yung workout struggles mo after 6 months, you started a small business, or your long graduation post. These are examples of you trying to sell a story. And the word trying here does not necessarily mean it's an obsessive marketing approach. Hindi naman ganun. It could simply be making sure that the details are authentic and somehow something positive or inspiring is going to emanate out of it. That's how we sell a story. That's how we sell our story. But if you look at most of success narratives prevalent in online and media space nowadays, there usually is a missing or part. Andyan yung mga body transformation before and after photos.
How I lost 20 kilograms without exercise.
Andyan yung mga get-rich schemes.
Gusto mo ding yumaman, no? Paano nga ba yayaman dito?
Andyan din yung panalo na tayo sa COVID.
Today's the last day na pala. Ano bang sinasabi ko? Wala na po. Panalo na tayo. We beat the UP prediction po. We beat it. So congratulations, Philippines. Let's do it again in July.
What's missing is the middle and messy parts. The chapter of the story exposing the nitty-gritty road to triumph, the challenges, the disappointments. Well, one, somehow it sets a dangerous and unhealthy precedent to post a before and after body progress with rigid transformation without inserting the journey you went through. Somehow, this looks better compared to this kasi nakikita ng tao yung progress. And also, it can be misleading to just showcase your luxuries or your successes in your business and use a rhetoric na this is going to be easy and fast money. Well, the problem is people are not able to see the hard work required for you to get that status. Or sometimes it could just simply be purely BS, puro palabok lang. And don't get me wrong, don't worry, I'm not policing what we can and cannot share online in terms of how we package our stories. But if you look at the phrasing of the title of this essay, I want people to entertain and rethink maybe what we're used to in terms of writing our narrative success. Kung ano yung madalas nating nakikita is not all there is. Maybe we can add something more. And these things should not be hidden, should not be euphemized to make it more acceptable, or just simply be brushed off. And these things that I'm pertaining to are the failures and the dirty and nasty beginnings that we had to go through before we reach progress. Why not try making it a matter-of-fact statement, an inherent and inevitable element of growth and progress? Di ba siya mas maganda and very human to digest pag nagpapakatotoo ka lang? Well, to be fair, there are some na ginagawa naman to. Pero if you notice, if you read between the lines, the struggles, the failures, is always packaged as an afterthought, a postscript, a very minor throwback detail when they post their story of success. At parang they waited for success to happen first before they become public and open to their struggles. But you know what can make it better? More than admitting in retrospect that you did endure a very grueling and challenging period before you actually made it, isn't it better if we normalize and make these hardships visible as they happen? Why not demonstrate that as we aim for a big prize, as we start our journey, ito yung mga putik, bubog at lahat na mga humihila sa atin pababa. Kasi if people can be a witness to this in real time, kita nila nahihirapan ka pero committed ka pa rin sa goals mo, somehow mas makaka-relate sila And this is not just applicable to individual stories we share online. I think in a societal level, nakikita natin itong mga stories na to. And I think one good example is how Leni Robredo won as our vice president in 2016.
In congratulating Your Honor on your election as Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines.
She was very open that she's a nobody. And she has been ridiculed and underestimated na byuda lang naman siya, na wala naman siyang big position. Ba't siya tatakbo? But instead of pushing the narrative that she's a good contender at the start of the VP race agad-agad, she embraced na ganito yung challenges na kailangan niyang harapin once she started running. She even admitted and acknowledged na meron lang talaga siyang 1% of supporters in terms of the surveys that were coming out at the start of the campaign period. But, nonetheless, she went on different localities and areas na hindi naman siya ganun kakilala. Punta lang siya, kandidato pa rin. She even became transparent on how she's being attacked by trolls and on how whenever her family and friends are the ones subject to the cyberbullying, dun siya naapektuhan and dun siya nababother. So kung napapansin nyo, I think this kind of authenticity all throughout the campaign period, from beginning up until the last weeks, won the hearts of many. But more than that, the way that she made the problem she's dealing with very visible, nag-a-adjust yung pag-consume ng mga tao on her campaign story, on her campaign narrative. And because people knew that she's in the lower bracket in the survey results, it somehow pushed the supporters to exert more effort and not be complacent. And that's why, more than being a dark horse of the 2016 election, she was also a candidate who was well known for having an army of volunteers. And look at what she's doing right now. And compare that to how the current administration claimed that we are winning against COVID-19, that the Philippines was in a good position back when this was just starting out in the early 2020.
Everything is well in the country. There's nothing really to be extra scared of that coronavirus thing.
Itong COVID na ito talaga yung tunay na at the start sinabi ko sa inyo. At the start sinabi ko sa inyo. At the start, bantay kayo dito, bantay tayo. Talagang yayarein na itong COVID na to.
Ang daming information ang di open to public, not telling the people how vulnerable we are, how bad the figures were. It consequently created a narrative na baka okay lang naman tayo, na okay lang magpaka-petics-petics. And when people bought that story, this is where the catastrophic situation that we have right now started. So, kamusta naman tayo? I wonder how different the situation would have been if the administration was honest from the very beginning that they made bad calls from the get-go, that they do not fully understand the gravity of and the science behind the situation, and they need actual experts to really make wise decisions. At hindi lang umaasa sa positive outlook, sa resilience and bravado and machismo, I wonder how the rest of the Philippines would have responded in support for what the administration is doing. Well, regardless if it's in the individual or societal level, the success stories we share to the public, it permeates and it has the potential to shape public consciousness and the perspectives of people. Because if every single story that we share is one that is more than geared towards progress, it is also a very authentic narrative. I think mas madali siyang paniwalaan and therefore, mas madali siyang suportahan at i-emulate ng mga tao. Hindi siya nagbumukhang impossible feat to aim for since we really saw how one really struggled but persisted and eventually made it. The more we can convince ourselves that it can also be done. So, why am I telling you this? Eto, lawakan natin yung usapan. If 2022 is going to be a success story of the Philippines, ano yung mga willing nating amining pagkukulang natin ngayon? Mga mali sa sistema at sa mga nangyayari ngayon? What are the hard facts about our existing problems na kailangan nating i-admit that can prompt us to adjust and really make a good game plan? The conclusion is more of a question rather than an answer. Well, we, the millennials and Gen Zs, are the writers of the destiny of the Philippines. Whatever story that you're going to write or subscribe to, make sure lang na i-share mo siya sa iba. That's how we reclaim the narrative. Well, everyone watching, we have 1 year to go. Let's make it count. This is Andrew B asking you to subscribe to my channel. If you like at least 2 videos or at least 2 blog posts that I've made, your subscription would really be helpful in my content creation journey. Thanks everyone. Bye.